At Canaan University, the sun streamed through the windows of the Language Arts building as students filed into Dr. Annie Liu's English translation practice class. That morning, Lily and Jack settled into their seats, curious about the lesson. Dr. Liu entered with a vibrant enthusiasm, carrying a small globe in one hand and a marker in the other. She stood at the board and declared, "Today, we're diving into a key translation technique that will make your work not only accurate but also natural: modulation." Dr. Liu wrote a definition on the board. Modulation is a translation technique that involves changing the perspective or viewpoint to achieve naturalness and equivalence in the target language. She continued, "Literal translation might sound stiff or unnatural in the target language. Modulation helps adjust meaning to fit cultural and linguistic norms, making your translation more readable and relatable." Then, Dr. Liu flipped the globe and pointed to Asia. "Let's look at an example from Chinese to English," she said, writing on the board, "Chinese sentence." "Now," Dr. Liu said, "literal translation doesn't make sense here. In Chinese refers to stinginess. Using modulation, we change the perspective and translate it as, 'He is a very stingy person.'" Lily raised her hand. "So, we adapt the meaning rather than stick to the words?" "Exactly," Dr. Liu replied. "Modulation ensures the message resonates with the TL audience." Dr. Liu then shared a second example, Chinese sentence. "Through modulation," she explained, "we use a more natural English expression. 'This piece of clothing looks good.'" The students nodded as Jack asked, "Are there any types of modulation we should know about?" Dr. Liu smiled and wrote on the board, "Obligatory modulation, used when literal translation is impossible." For example, Chinese sentence, in English, we adapt it to, "I had a cold yesterday." Free modulation, chosen to refine style and tone. For example, Chinese sentence, translated with modulation, "Thank you for your hard work." Dr. Liu continued, "Modulation doesn't mean changing the meaning. It ensures the target language text reflects the original message while sounding natural. However, there are a few things to note when using this technique." She wrote a checklist on the board. 1. Understand the source message. Misinterpreting the source language meaning can lead to inaccurate translations. 2. Consider cultural differences. Adjust phrases to suit target language norms without losing the original tone. 3. Avoid overusing modulation. Balance it with literal translation when appropriate to maintain authenticity. To solidify their understanding, Dr. Liu gave another example, Chinese sentence. Through modulation, we might translate this as, "Please hold on for a second." It's shorter and more conversational in English. As the class ended, Dr. Liu summarized, "Remember, modulation is a creative tool. Use it wisely to bridge linguistic and cultural gaps." Whether you're translating a text or a conversation, this strategy can make your work shine. Lily and Jack left the classroom inspired, eager to apply modulation in their next translation assignments, knowing it would help them capture the heart of every message.